Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Compliance Lookup. In this video we will be discuss part 2 of international guidelines and standards. If you have not watched its part 1 then please watch first. These topics are essential for financial security and in future videos we'll dive deeper into how these procedures are implemented, the tools used and the real world impact they have on businesses and individuals. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more content on financial compliance, regulations, and more. Now we will start. FATF style regional bodies FSRBs. These are the regional organizations that function in a similar way to the Financial Action Task Force FATF but focus on regional issues. These bodies promote the implementation of FATF standards and recommendations within their respective regions. They work to ensure countries in their region adopt and enforce anti money laundering AML and countering the financing of terrorism CFT measures in line with global standards. Key functions of FSRBs. 1. Promoting FATF standards. FSRBs help countries in their region comply with FATF's 40 recommendations and 9 special recommendations related to AML-CFT. 2. Mutual evaluation. Like FATF, FSRBs conduct mutual evaluations of their member countries to assess the effectiveness of their AML-CFT frameworks. 3. Capacity building. They provide technical assistance and guidance to help countries strengthen their financial crime controls and systems. 4. Regional cooperation. FSRBs enhance cooperation between countries in the region, promoting information sharing, cross-border investigations, and enforcement of AML-CFT regulations. Now coming to this, the Asia Pacific Group on Money Laundering, a PG. This is a FATF-style regional body. FSRB focused on promoting the implementation of international standards for combating money laundering, AML, and terrorism financing (CFT) in the Asia-Pacific region. Established in 1997, the APG works to ensure that countries in this region comply with FATF's 40 recommendations and that they develop strong ML-CFT frameworks. Key functions of a PG. 1. Mutual evaluations. The APPG conducts peer reviews mutual evaluations of member countries to assess their compliance with FATF standards. These evaluations help identify weaknesses in their financial systems and provide recommendations for improvements. 2. Technical assistance and training. The APG offers training and technical assistance to help member countries strengthen their AML-CFT capabilities. This includes capacity building programs for government officials, law enforcement, and financial institutions. 3. Cooperation and information sharing. The APG promotes regional cooperation among member countries, encouraging them to share intelligence, collaborate on investigations, and enhance enforcement efforts to fight money laundering and terrorism financing. 4. Engagement with the private sector. The APG works closely with the private sector, particularly financial institutions, to ensure compliance with MLCFT regulations, including requirements related to customer due diligence (CDD) and suspicious transaction reporting (STR). Real world example. Philippines and the APG mutual evaluation. In 2019, the APG conducted a mutual evaluation of the Philippines, which revealed certain weaknesses in the country's AML-CFT framework, especially regarding the supervision of financial institutions and real estate transactions. As a result, the APG recommended the Philippines enhance its regulatory oversight and improve suspicious transaction reporting. The country took steps to implement these recommendations, such as strengthening laws related to money laundering and improving coordination between government agencies. The APG's evaluation and assistance helped the Philippines avoid being placed on FATF's grey list, which could have negatively impacted its economy and international financial relationships. In conclusion, the APG plays a critical role in ensuring that countries in the Asia Pacific region develop robust systems to combat financial crimes. By conducting mutual evaluations, providing technical assistance, and promoting cooperation, the APG helps protect the region's financial systems from being misused for illegal activities like money laundering and terrorism financing. Now, coming to this, the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force CCFATF. This is a FATF style regional body FSRB established to implement and promote anti money laundering, AML, and countering the financing of terrorism CFT standards in the Caribbean region. Formed in 1992, CFAT efforts to ensure that its member countries adopt and comply with FATF's 40 recommendations on AML and CFT tailored to the region's specific needs. Key functions of CFATF: 1. Mutual evaluations. CFATF conducts peer reviews mutual evaluations of its member states to assess how well they comply with FATF's recommendations and identify areas for improvement. 2. Technical assistance and training. CFATF provides capacity building programs and technical assistance to member countries, offering guidance on how to strengthen their financial crime frameworks, improve investigations, and enhance law enforcement capabilities. 3. Promoting cooperation. CFATF promotes regional cooperation among its members, encouraging them to share intelligence, collaborate on cross border investigations, and improve coordination between financial institutions, law enforcement, and government agencies. 4. Working with the private sector, CFATF engages with financial institutions and the private sector to help implement MLCFT measures, such as Know Your Customer KYC, Customer Due Diligence CDD, and Suspicious Transaction Reporting STR. Real world example: Bahamas and CFATF mutual evaluation. In 2017, CFATF conducted a mutual evaluation of the Bahamas to assess its AML-CFT framework. The evaluation revealed deficiencies in certain areas such as supervision of financial institutions and suspicious transaction reporting. Following this, the Bahamas implemented several reforms to strengthen its AML-CFT regime, including introducing stricter KYC rules for banks and financial institutions. Second is enhancing regulations for real estate and financial service providers. Third is improving the coordination between law enforcement and financial regulators. These reforms help the Bahamas avoid being placed on FATF's grey list, and the country continued to work with CFATF to further improve its AML CFT framework. Now coming to its conclusion. The CFATF plays a crucial role in ensuring that Caribbean nations implement strong systems to prevent financial crimes. Through mutual evaluations, technical assistance, and promoting regional cooperation, CFATF helps protect the region's financial systems from being exploited for money laundering, terrorism financing, and other illicit activities. Now, coming to this, the Council of Europe Committee of Experts on the Evaluation of Anti-Money Laundering Measures and the Financing of Terrorism, MONEYVALL. This is a FATF-style regional body FSRB responsible for evaluating how well its member states comply with anti-money laundering and countering the financing of terrorism CFT standards. Moneywell, established in 1997, works with European countries and some non-European states to help them implement the FATF's 40 recommendations. Key functions: 1. Mutual evaluations. Moneywell conducts detailed assessments of countries' MLCFT systems. These evaluations provide an analysis of the legal, financial, and regulatory frameworks in place and highlight areas that need improvement. 2. Technical assistance and guidance. It provides countries with guidance and technical assistance to help them enhance their MLCFT efforts. 3. Follow-up reports. After evaluations, countries are required to submit follow-up reports to Moneywell detailing how they are improving their frameworks based on the recommendations provided. 4. Promoting cooperation. Moneywell encourages cooperation between its member states, law enforcement agencies, and financial institutions to combat financial crimes effectively. Example Moldova and Moneywell. In 2019, Moneywell conducted an evaluation of Moldova, revealing significant deficiencies in the country's ability to combat money laundering and terrorism financing. The report identified weaknesses in the supervision of financial institutions and the investigation of financial crimes. Steps taken. Step 1. Moldova introduced stricter regulations for its financial institutions, particularly around Know Your Customer KYC and Customer Due Diligence CDD. Step 2. The government strengthened collaboration between law enforcement and the financial sector, leading to improved suspicious transaction reporting. Step 3. Moldova also enhanced its financial intelligence unit to improve investigations into financial crimes. The outcome. As a result of Moneywell's recommendations and Moldova's actions, the country's AML CFT system became more robust, helping to protect its financial system from criminal misuse. Conclusion. Moneywell plays a crucial role in helping European and select non-European countries strengthen their AML CFT frameworks. By conducting evaluations, offering technical assistance, and promoting cooperation, Moneywell ensures that its member states meet international standards to combat money laundering and terrorism financing effectively. Now, coming to this, the Eurasian Group on Combating Money Laundering and Financing of Terrorism (EAG). This is a FATF style regional body FSRB that focuses on implementing anti-money laundering AML and countering the financing of terrorism CFT standards in the Eurasian region. Established in 2004, the EAG helps its member countries comply with the FATF's 40 recommendations and develop robust AML CFT frameworks. Key functions of EAG. 1. Mutual evaluations. EAG conducts peer reviews of its member countries to assess how well they are adhering to FATF standards. These evaluations highlight gaps in the legal, regulatory, and operational frameworks and offer recommendations for improvement. 2. Technical assistance and training. EAG provides technical support, training, and capacity building programs to help member countries strengthen their AML CFT measures. This assistance is crucial for enhancing the skills of law enforcement, financial institutions, and regulators. 3. Promoting regional cooperation. EAG fosters cooperation between its member states, encouraging information sharing and joint efforts in combating money laundering and terrorism financing. This regional approach helps to address cross-border financial crimes effectively. 4. Follow-up reports. After evaluations, member states are required to submit follow-up reports to show progress in implementing the recommended reforms. Real-world example Tajikistan and EAG. In 2018, the E conducted a mutual evaluation of Tajikistan to assess the country's AML-CFT framework. The evaluation revealed several shortcomings, such as inadequate supervision of financial institutions and insufficient reporting of suspicious transactions. Steps taken by Tajikistan. Step 1. The government implemented stricter Know Your Customer KYC and Customer Due Diligence CDD rules for banks and financial institutions. Step 2. Tajikistan improved its legal framework by introducing new AML CFT regulations and strengthening penalties for financial crimes. Step 3. Increased cooperation between law enforcement agencies and the country's financial intelligence unit helped improve suspicious transaction reporting and investigation. Outcome. As a result of these reforms, Tajikistan's financial system became more resilient to money laundering and terrorism financing risks. The continued to monitor the country's progress through follow up reports to ensure continued improvement. Conclusion. The Eurasian Group plays a vital role in helping countries in the Eurasian region strengthen their AML CFT systems. Through mutual evaluations, technical assistance, and regional cooperation, the EGAG ensures that its members develop robust frameworks to combat financial crimes. Now, coming to this. The Eastern and Southern African Anti Money Laundering Group ESA AMLG. This is a FATF style regional body of Serbia. Formed in 1999 to promote the implementation of anti money laundering ML, and countering the financing of terrorism CFT standards in the Eastern and Southern African regions. ESA-AMLG helps its member countries comply with the FATF's 40 recommendations, aiming to strengthen their financial systems against money laundering and terrorism financing. Key functions. 1. Mutual evaluations. ESA-AMLG conducts peer reviews of its member countries' AML-CFT frameworks to assess compliance with FEF standards and provide recommendations for improvement. 2. Technical assistance provides capacity building programs, training, and technical support to help countries enhance their AML CFT systems and improve investigations into financial crimes. 3. Regional cooperation encourages cooperation among member countries through information sharing and collaborative efforts to fight cross border money laundering and terrorist financing. 4. Follow up reports. Countries are required to submit progress reports after evaluations to demonstrate the implementation of recommended reforms. Example Tanzania and ESA-AMLG. In 2019, ESA-AMLG conducted a mutual evaluation of Tanzania, highlighting weaknesses in the country's AML-CFT framework, particularly in supervision of financial institutions and reporting of suspicious transactions. Steps taken by Tanzania. 1. Strengthen Know Your Customer KYC and Customer Due Diligence CDD rules. 2. Improve financial supervision and enhanced reporting mechanisms for suspicious transactions. 3. Increased cooperation between the Financial Intelligence Unit FIU and law enforcement agencies. Outcome. As a result of these reforms, Tanzania improved its AML-CFT system, reducing its vulnerability to financial crimes. ESA-AMLG continues to monitor the country's progress through follow-up evaluations. Conclusion. The ESA-AMLG plays a critical role in helping Eastern and Southern African countries enhance their AML-CFT frameworks. Through mutual evaluations, technical assistance, and regional cooperation, it ensures that member countries adopt effective measures to prevent money laundering and terrorism financing. Now coming to this, the Financial Action Task Force of Latin America GAFILAT. This is a formerly known as the Financial Action Task Force of South America GAFISUD is a FATF style regional body FSRB dedicated to promoting anti-money laundering and countering the financing of terrorism CFT standards in Latin America. GAFILAT was established to help its member countries comply with the FATF's 40 recommendations, ensuring that the region adopts effective measures to prevent financial crimes. Key functions of GAFILAT. First, mutual evaluations. GAFILAT conducts peer reviews of its member states' AML-CFT systems. These evaluations assess compliance with FATF standards, identifying strengths and weaknesses. Second, technical assistance. GAFILAT offers training, technical support, and capacity building programs to help its members improve their AML-CFT systems, enhancing the skills of regulators, law enforcement, and financial institutions. Third, regional cooperation. It promotes cooperation among Latin American countries to combat cross border money laundering and terrorist financing, facilitating information exchange and joint efforts. Fourth, follow up reports. After evaluations, countries must submit follow up reports detailing the implementation of GAFILAT's recommendations. Example Argentina and GAFILAT. In 2017, GAFLAT conducted a mutual evaluation of Argentina, revealing areas for improvement in its AML and CFT measures, particularly in the supervision of financial institutions and investigation of financial crimes. In response, Argentina took several actions, including: first, strengthening its financial intelligence unit view; second, improving its regulatory framework for suspicious transaction reporting STR; third, enhancing the coordination between law enforcement and financial institutions. These reforms helped Argentina improve its compliance with international standards and avoid being listed for deficiencies by international bodies such as the FATF. Coming to conclusion, GAFILAT plays a key role in strengthening the AML-CFT systems in Latin America. Through mutual evaluations, technical assistance, and regional cooperation, it helps its member countries develop robust measures to prevent financial crimes like money laundering and terrorism financing. Now, coming to this, the Government Action Group Against Money Laundering in West Africa GIABA. This is a FATF style regional body FSRB that focuses on promoting anti money laundering, AML, and countering the financing of terrorism CFT measures in West Africa. Established in 2000, GIABA helps its 15 member states implement the FATF's 40 recommendations and strengthens regional efforts to combat financial crimes. Key functions of GIABA: 1. Mutual evaluations. GIABA conducts peer reviews to assess how well member countries adhere to FATF standards. These evaluations identify weaknesses in a country's MLCFT system and offer recommendations for improvement. 2. Technical assistance. GIABA provides training and capacity building programs to improve the MLCFT frameworks of its member countries, enhancing the ability of financial institutions and law enforcement to detect and investigate financial crimes. 3. Promoting regional cooperation. GIABA fosters collaboration among West African countries to share information and conduct joint investigations. It helps improve coordination between law enforcement, financial regulators, and institutions across borders. 4. Follow up reports. Member countries submit follow up reports to demonstrate the progress they have made in implementing the recommendations from GIABA's mutual evaluations. Example Nigeria and GIABA. In 2017, Java conducted a mutual evaluation of Nigeria, which highlighted deficiencies in the country's MLCFT framework, including inadequate supervision of financial institutions and insufficient measures to combat terrorism financing. Steps taken by Nigeria. First, Nigeria introduced stricter Know Your Customer and Customer Due Diligence (CDD) measures. Second, the government worked to improve its suspicious transaction reporting systems and enhance the capacity of its Financial Intelligence Unit (FIU). Third, increased interagency collaboration between financial institutions and law enforcement agencies helped improve AML-CFT enforcement. Outcome: as a result of these efforts, Nigeria improved its compliance with international MLCFT standards and reduced its vulnerabilities to financial crimes. GIABA continued to monitor Nigeria's progress through follow-up evaluations. Conclusion: GIABA plays a crucial role in enhancing the MLCFT frameworks of West African countries. Through mutual evaluations, technical assistance, and fostering regional cooperation, GIAABA helps its members strengthen their efforts to prevent money laundering, terrorism financing, and other illicit financial activities. Now coming to this, the Wolfsburg Group. This was explained in earlier video also. But explain again, this is an association of 13 global banks that works to promote best practices in anti-money laundering (AML) and countering the financing of terrorism (CFT). Established in 2000, the group's primary goal is to improve the financial industry's ability to combat money laundering and terrorism financing through the development of guidelines, standards, and recommendations. Key functions. First, developing best practices, the Wolfsburg Group creates and publishes guidelines for banks to follow in managing ML and CFT risks. Second, promoting collaboration, it fosters cooperation between banks and other stakeholders to strengthen the global financial system's resilience against financial crimes. Third, advocating for policy, the group works with regulators and governments to align financial crime prevention policies with international standards. Example, the Wolfsburg Group published its Wolfsburg AML principles to guide financial institutions in implementing robust AML systems, ensuring consistent practices across the banking sector. Coming to its conclusion, the Wolfsburg Group plays a crucial role in shaping global standards for AML and CFT, offering best practices that help financial institutions mitigate financial crime risks and ensure regulatory compliance. The Wolfsburg Group is a collective of 13 global financial institutions that work together to develop frameworks, guidelines, and best practices to combat money laundering and the financing of terrorism. These institutions are committed to enhancing the global financial system's integrity by providing guidance on regulatory compliance, risk management, and combating financial crimes. Composition of the Wolfsburg Group. The group is composed of the following global financial institutions you can see on screen. Now move ahead. Now talking to its role and objective. 1. The group aims to set international standards for the financial industry, particularly related to the prevention of money laundering and terrorism financing. 2. It develops guidelines and recommendations, such as the correspondent banking guidelines, to enhance the financial sector's ability to detect and prevent financial crimes. Now, conclusion. The Wolfsburg Group plays a key role in promoting global cooperation and best practices among major financial institutions, contributing to the fight against money laundering and terrorism financing. Now coming to the Wolfsburg Standards. It refers to a set of best practices and guidelines developed by the Wolfsburg Group to help financial institutions prevent money laundering (MLL) and the financing of terrorism (TF). These standards are aimed at promoting the integrity and stability of the global financial system by establishing clear expectations for compliance with anti-money laundering (AML) and countering the financing of terrorism (CFT) regulations. Key features of the Wolfsburg Standards. 1. Risk-based approach. In this, the standards emphasize adopting a risk-based approach to AML-CFT compliance. Financial institutions are encouraged to assess and mitigate risks based on factors such as the type of client, transaction volume, geography, and business relationship. 2. Customer due diligence (CDD). In this, the standards set out requirements for thorough customer due diligence (CDD), including know your customer KYC procedures. Banks must verify the identity of clients, understand the nature of their business, and monitor for suspicious activities. 3. Enhanced due diligence (AD). In this, for high risk customers or transactions, The Wolfsburg standards call for enhanced due diligence AD, which includes more detailed investigation into the client's background and transaction history. 4. Ongoing monitoring. In this, the standards stress the importance of continuous monitoring of client transactions to detect unusual or suspicious behavior that could indicate money laundering or terrorism financing. 5. Correspondent banking. In this, the Wolfsburg Group has developed specific guidelines for correspondent banking relationships, focusing on the risks posed by cross border banking and providing clear guidance on due diligence, ongoing monitoring, and managing risks in these relationships. 6. Reporting suspicious activity. In this, the standards recommend that financial institutions establish processes for identifying, reporting, and handling suspicious transactions, ensuring that they comply with local regulations and international standards. 7. Staff training. In this, the standards call for regular training of employees to recognize red flags and understand the institution's AML CFT obligations, enhancing the overall effectiveness of compliance programs. Example: if a global bank follows the Wolfsburg standards, it would implement a comprehensive KYC procedure, monitor client transactions for signs of suspicious activity, and ensure that high risk clients undergo enhanced due diligence. This would include checking for unusual cross border payments or transactions involving countries with weak AML regulations. Now, coming to its conclusion. The Wolfsburg standards play a critical role in helping financial institutions maintain effective AML CFT practices, fostering a more secure global financial system by promoting uniformity and risk management in the fight against financial crime. So, we have completed part 2 of this chapter 4, International Guidelines and Standards. Now, our next lecture 5 is on anti money laundering, combating the financing of terrorism, and its legislation in major countries and region. Thank you so much for watching.